The Small Seed and the Long Journey. My name is Oliver, and I want to share a story from my life. It is a simple story, but it has a deep meaning for me. This story is about patience, hope, and learning to believe in small steps. I grew up in a small and quiet town. The streets were clean, and there were many trees everywhere. In spring, flowers grew along the roads. In summer, the air felt warm and soft. In autumn, leaves fell gently to the ground. In winter, the town was calm and silent. My house was near a small river. The water moved slowly, and I often liked to sit near it and watch the sunlight on the surface. Sometimes I threw small stones into the water and watched the circles spread. My parents were kind people. They worked hard and cared deeply about our family. My father worked at a local store, and my mother worked at home. They always tried to teach me good values. But when I was younger, I did not always listen carefully. I wanted things to happen quickly. I did not like waiting. If I wanted something, I wanted it right away. Many evenings, my parents talked about patience. They said that life is like a long road. We must walk step by step. But I often felt that their words were too simple. One summer, my grandfather came to stay with us. He was a gentle man with soft gray hair and calm eyes. He spoke slowly and always listened carefully before answering. He liked spending time in the garden. Every morning, he went outside and looked at the plants. He checked the soil and watered the flowers. One afternoon, he called me to join him. I walked into the garden and saw him holding something in his hand. It was a very small seed. He said, "Oliver, today we will plant this seed together." I looked at the seed and felt surprised. It seemed too small to be important. I asked, "What kind of seed is it?" He smiled and said, "It will become something beautiful if you take care of it." I did not fully understand, but I felt curious. We chose a quiet place in the garden. The sun was shining, and the air smelled fresh. Birds were singing softly. My grandfather gave me a small shovel. I dug a little hole in the soil. Then I placed the seed inside and covered it gently. After that, I poured some water on the ground. My grandfather said, "Now your work begins." I asked, "What do you mean?" He said, "You must care for it every day. Be patient and watch." The next morning, I ran to the garden. I looked at the ground, but nothing was there. I felt disappointed. I thought maybe the seed was not good. My grandfather told me, "Give it time. Growth happens quietly." Every day, I watered the soil. Sometimes I talked to the seed, even though I felt a little silly. After several days, I began to lose interest. It seemed nothing was changing. But one morning, I saw a tiny green point coming out of the soil. I felt excited and called my grandfather. He came slowly and looked at it. He smiled and said, "Life has begun." I felt proud because I helped make it happen. From that day, I checked the plant every morning and every evening. It slowly grew taller. Some days were sunny and warm. Some days were cloudy. Sometimes it rained, and I watched the drops fall on the leaves. One afternoon, strong wind blew through the garden. I worried about the small plant. I thought it might break. I asked my grandfather what to do. He said, "Do not be afraid. The plant will learn to stand strong." The next day, the plant was still there. It looked a little bent, but it was alive. I felt relieved. Weeks passed, and the plant grew more leaves. Its color was bright green. Taking care of the plant became part of my daily routine. I felt responsible for it. Sometimes I forgot to water it. When I saw the leaves look dry, I felt sorry and quickly gave it water. My grandfather told me that mistakes are part of learning. He said we must pay attention and try again. One evening, we sat together in the garden. The sun was setting, and the sky was orange. He asked me, "How do you feel about the plant?" I said, "I feel happy when I see it grow." He said, "That happiness comes from effort." As time passed, the plant became a small tree. Its branches grew stronger. Birds sometimes rested on it. I often sat under it and thought about my life. My grandfather explained that the seed was like a dream. If we care for our dreams, they will grow. He said that patience is like water. Without patience, dreams cannot grow well. I listened carefully. For the first time, I truly understood his words. Years later, I left my town to live in a big city. The city was noisy and busy. People walked quickly everywhere. At first, I felt excited, but soon, I also felt lonely. Life was not easy. I had a new job, but I made mistakes. Sometimes I felt stressed. When I felt tired, I remembered the small tree in the garden. I remembered watering it every day. One year, I lost my job. I felt worried about money and the future. I did not know what to do. I called my parents. They listened and encouraged me. My father said, "Difficult times help us grow." My mother said, "Be patient and keep trying." Their words reminded me of my grandfather. I decided to learn new skills. I studied every day. Sometimes I felt slow, but I did not stop. After many months, I found a new job. It was not easy, but I felt proud because I did not give up. Later, I returned to my hometown to visit my family. I went to the garden and saw the tree. It was tall and strong now. Its leaves moved gently in the wind. I touched the trunk and felt thankful. My grandfather sat nearby. He looked older but peaceful. I thanked him for teaching me patience. He said, "The lesson was always inside you." We talked about life and memories. The garden felt warm and calm. Today, whenever I face a problem, I remember the seed. I remember that growth takes time. I also try to help others learn patience. Sometimes I tell children the story of the seed. Life is full of challenges, but also full of hope. If we keep taking small steps, we will move forward. Sometimes progress is slow, but it is still progress. The small seed taught me that every effort matters. Even now, when I see a plant growing, I smile. I know that life is a journey, and every day is a chance to grow. And that is the story of how a tiny seed changed my life forever.